Hello and welcome to the 15th episode of our podcast. We are recording today on October 21st, 2016. We got some big news for you this week.
Finally,
yeah, after
fruition.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're still happy to be a part of the BA network, but Ty, let me kick it over to you we're going to let them know what's going on.
We're going to be doing a little rebranding. So while we did like BA Sports Podcast, ever since we started, we all agreed that it was just a placeholder name because we could not come up with a good name. So we finally sat down, all three of us, and tried to come up with some names and stuff, and we finally settled on the Don't Stop Believin' podcast.
My drum roll was late, but there it was.
So we're doing the whole rebranding thing. Don't Stop Believin'. We're going to change all our handles on social media. We'll let you guys know at the end of the podcast what the new ones will be, just so you can watch out for it.
We got an awesome new logo thanks to Dakota Dotson.
Great logo.
He, we let him know a little bit ahead of time. He was one of the first to know. And he hooked us up with an amazing logo.
Yeah, really like it. Really better than I thought it would have been. Really.
Yeah,
like it was great.
He did awesome.
So yeah, we're gonna have the whole new rebranding, which I'm very excited about. New colors. We're finally gonna start being able to just expand more, I think.
Right. Really, now that we've finally settled on a name, we're really going to be able to try to hopefully get this thing taken off, because it was kind of holding us back. We were kind of, chained down a little bit because we knew we had all these ideas in our head, but we knew that we couldn't do it until we finally came up with a name that we all felt like was the right name, and we definitely are all happy with this name.
And it was just a generic name. It really was. I mean, yeah. Besides that, it was just a generic name for the podcast. We just named it after the website that Adam owns and writes for. So, but we're proud to have this new one. We're still going to be part of the BA network, and hopefully we'll be adding some new podcasts to that. That's a possibility.
That's the plan
in the future. If you're interested in having your own podcast, get a hold of Adam.
Get a hold of myself,
and
even Adam. Brandon Trainer. He's the other owner of BA network. Really reach out to any of us, me, Eric, Ty, Brandon, anyone that you know, and you just feel free to reach out if it's something you're interested in doing. We'd be more than happy to get stuff figured out.
Definitely looking to expand. So with the big news finally here, keep an eye out. It's going to be a couple days before we change everything. We're going to wait probably till Sunday night. Maybe Sunday night we'll go ahead and change all the logos and handles and everything to what we want. And yeah, so keep an eye out for that. We'll try to advertise it a little bit on Facebook and social media. But let's get into the podcast. So. All right. We got some big news. Indians to the World Series.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to mention that first. That won't be our first topic, but we got to start it with the great news.
Right. Like, can you believe it? 2-16. I mean, not the record, but we're going for hashtag 2-16. Right. 2 championships in the year 2016. How freaking crazy is this?
So, yeah, great news. So, now that we talked about the great news, let's get into the bad news.
Yeah.
Our Cleveland Browns. Not going to be 3-16.
No,
it's going to be...
Not at all. I mean, not even...
remotely possible at this point. So let's talk about the Brownies. Last week they lost to the Titans in a very close game. Came down to... some questionable... play calling.
Which we'll call
this is
that,
the first
decision making.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever questioned Hugh Jackson and his head coach. This reminded me of almost a Pat Shurmur-esque...
good old Pat Shurmur
time
days.
Management situation where we were down by 2 possessions and we scored a touchdown, and we should have kicked the extra point and then gone for the onside kick and try to score a touchdown again and then get the 2-point conversion. Right. But instead of kicking that extra point, he went for a 2-point conversion on the first touchdown, and we failed, but we ended up getting the onside kick. So obviously it's kind of 2020 vision to look back. Who knows if we would have got the onside kick if we kicked the
field goal. We wouldn't even be talking about this if we would have got the 2-point conversion.
Right, exactly. So I don't know how I feel about it.
It's one of those things. I feel like when you're an 0-6 team, you take chances that normally you wouldn't take.
But this seems so unnecessary because why handicap yourself? Why not just get the extra point now and still leave yourself open?
I mean, I agree with you. I'm on your side 100%. But I'm trying to put myself in Hugh's situation here. I don't know what he was thinking. But my guess is obviously he had a bigger plan in mind that didn't come to fruition.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, who are we to question him? I mean, he's a professional.
He's made great decisions all year long up till that point.
That's why I'm not as upset. If this would have been Patton
or Pat Shermer or any of those other, failures of coaches that we've had.
This would be a lot bigger news, I think.
Absolutely.
But with the way Hugh Jackson's been coaching this team up and developing our young players,
I'm still very excited for the future with the Browns. Despite our record right now, I don't care. We can go 0-16, but we've seen more progress from this young team than we've seen out of any past team for the Cleveland Browns.
So let's get into our predictions from last week. Or things to look for. So last week, my things to look were O-line and secondary. Obviously, those both failed miserably. O-line couldn't get anything for Crow going. Crow had a terrible game.
Yeah, again.
Secondary, although Kessler did have a good passing game.
Yeah.
I will give them that. They did have some good pass protection, but Crow had a terrible run game, which is more what I was looking for out of the O-line for that run blocking. And then secondary, Kendall Wright absolutely destroyed them. Their receivers were eating us up that entire game.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to really criticize the secondary too much considering all the injuries that have taken place with Joe Hayden being out. Tremont Williams played, but he was definitely banged up, and he is definitely a shell of his former self. He is not the Tremont Williams from Green Bay.
Right.
Jordan Poyer went out with a lacerated kidney.
And he's going to be out for the year now.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're playing with 4th, 5th stringers on most teams. You know what I mean? Like, if they were on any other team, they'd be 4th, 5th string, probably not even on a roster. But here they are. They're out there. They're trying, but...
Yeah, it was rough to watch, though. Very rough to watch.
Absolutely.
My player to watch was Crow, and I talked about that terrible game. Couldn't get anything going. Not sure if it's his fault or the O-line's fault or whose fault it is, but yeah, Crow couldn't get anything going.
As far as me, my things to watch was to stop the run, and I was very surprised with the Browns' defense. They shut down DeMarco Murray for the most part. I think he ended up with something like 62 yards rushing.
Which, for him is...
And a touchdown. Well, yeah, for the second best running back in the league going into that game. The Browns' defensive line, especially my player to watch, Danny Shelton, he was on the stat line a lot more than I expected him to be. He was getting tackles.
His first sack.
Yeah, he got back there, got his first sack. So I think Danny knew that I was watching it, and he went out there and he performed for me. So Danny Shelton, thank you very much because he played a hell of a ball game.
I'm really impressed with him. Shelton, he's really turned it up.
I don't know if it's the weight loss or just that more experience or it's Ray Horton giving him that confidence.
Defensive system.
I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, Danny Shelton is definitely benefiting from it.
Right. So,
my other thing to watch was pressure the quarterback, which I still was very disappointed with the pressure. We did get a couple sacks. I know Ogba had one, and like we said, Danny Shelton had one. But Mariota had all day back there for the most part, like 80% of the time. He was
deep bombs. I know Kendall Wright caught a couple of them. A deep touchdown, another deep ball here or there. But yeah, so definitely need to get the pressure on the quarterback that we.
And I don't understand it because when Ray Horton was here the first time, that all we did was pressure the quarterback. Like we took a bunch of no-name dudes and they were like pass rushing specialists. I'm pretty sure Cameron Wembley those were the Cameron Wembley days, or was it?
I think it might have been after Cameron Wembley.
After that, I know he got 6 sacks out of Mingo, so that says or 5.5, whatever it was, but that says enough right there if you can get that out of Mingo. But anyways, we don't really want to touch on the Browns too much.
Yeah, we got some good news with Cavs and Indians. So we'll talk about a little bit of this upcoming game versus the Bengals, and then we're just going to move on.
Right.
So Bengals, things to watch. Adam, go ahead and give your stuff.
The things I'm watching, I want to see if the Browns can continue to stop the run like they did last week. I want to see, with Jeremy Hill and Gio Bernard, the two-headed monster there in Cincinnati. I want to see how well they can continue to stop the run, watch Danny Shelton, and see if he continues to improve off a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I'm looking for is, man, like we were talking about the secondary, we just need to stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's. I know that's a really lame thing to watch for, but at this point in the season, that's what else is there.
Right.
We really just, I want to see our players play and
develop
the week after this week. You know what I mean? So
they need to keep playing to develop and get better. And
so those are the two things I'm really gonna be watching for. And then my player to watch is gonna be Cody Kessler. I know I've said in the past that it's kind of a given with Kessler and Pryor and all them, but this is Kessler's third or fourth start, something like that.
It's on his fourth, fifth, maybe.
So he's and he's been very impressive.
Yeah.
And I just want to see him continue to grow and watch him take command of this offense. And with Terrell Pryor possibly being out with his hamstring, I want to see how well Kessler can manage the game and how he can continue to lead this offense despite
rookies,
right, despite Crow having 2 bad games back to back, and then like we said with Pryor being out.
Yeah. All right. So my things are D-line and secondary. I'll go into D-line first. Same thing with you. Stop the run and pass rush.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see Shelton get in there and clog up the middle. I want to see Agba and Nassib on the outside. I want to see Schobert in there. I guess Agba's more of a linebacker, but I don't know. He
kind of does
hybrid.
both. Yeah, he's a hybrid.
So I want to see Nassib in there. I want to see our D-line really step it up. We definitely need more pressure on the quarterback.
Absolutely. It would help our rookie secondary so much.
Right. So that's probably the main thing for me. And then secondary, I want to see them contain the Bengals offense because AJ Green's going to tear us up.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for my fantasy team, but
I think it's just a question of how much he's going to tear us up because we're going to have – who are we going to have on AJ Green?
I mean, right now it's looking like Tramon Williams. Tramon Williams and Bodie Calhoun, yeah. And that's scary.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes Joe Hayden has trouble with AJ Green, let alone the corpse of Tramon Williams.
I like
so it's going to be a rough game. And then my player to watch this week is Emmanuel Agba. I just need to see him set that edge hard against these runners. If Danny Shelton's up in the middle, we need Agba to set that edge. We need him to turn the run back inside for Shelton, for our linebackers. We really need him to do that. And I want to see him continue. I want to see him add to that sack he got last week. I want to see him get a second sack this week. That'd be great. That'd be amazing to see him really step it up.
One player I want to touch on real quick. This is just kind of out there. I just want to give credit to Christian Kirksey.
Yeah, he's had a great game.
He's borderline Pro Bowl right now, despite the year that the Browns are having.
He's everywhere.
He's always around the ball, and I just shout out to Christian Kirksey because I enjoy watching him play.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped it up, and I think he's part of that future.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he can keep developing as a leader and just as a player on that side of the ball, I mean, it'd be great. I mean, he fits the scheme very well with the 2 inside linebackers that we got and everything.
He's good in coverage, and then he's also one of the first ones up there to stop the run.
Yeah. So I think we're both predicting another loss this week.
Absolutely.
I mean, the Bengals obviously haven't really – they've been a disappointment this year.
But not quite the same disappointment the Browns have been.
Right.
So what's the score?
We'll go 28-13.
28-13. That's really close to what I had in mind. I might alter mine just a bit just to kind of separate it from yours. But I'll go 30-17.
30-17, okay. And I just want to go back. I just thought of this for your health. You want to watch the health?
Yeah.
Bengals have a dirty defense. They got Perfect, who
he's not suspended, so
took some shots at the Patriots last week, and then we got Pac-Man over there. So
all right. Perfect got fined $75,000 for stepping on LeGarrette Blount. Not just stepping, but kind of stomping
on LeGarrette Blount. And then he also took a cheap shot at Martellus Bennett at his knees. So we'll see how he plays out and what he does. Hopefully none of our players get hurt from the recklessness of him. But
all right, that should be it for Browns.
Yeah, we just wanted to get that out. Like we had talked about it, but we just need to get it over with. So let's move on to the Indians.
I am so excited.
World Series.
This is awesome. Like we were saying earlier, a possibility of 2 championships. I mean, granted, we haven't won anything yet. I mean, we won the American League pennant.
But just a possibility.
Right.
Just being in the situation where it is a possibility.
The first time the Indians have been in the World Series since 97, so almost 20 years.
Yep.
And there's just something about this team, man. There's just something about it. I've been saying it all since we started doing the podcast.
Yeah.
They just have this magical type feel. They've had the 11 come from behind wins. And there's just something about this team, and I'm so happy to see them in the situation they're in right now.
So let's talk about the Toronto series. Okay. The pitching, best pitching I've ever seen.
Right.
I actually watched a couple of these games, and against those huge bats for Toronto.
Like Andrew we talked about before.
Kluber, all of them. Allen.
Yep.
Merritt.
Everybody came up huge. Everybody knew that they had a role to play, and they went above and beyond.
They really did. Amazing. Nothing short of amazing.
Andrew Miller got he got the MVP of the series, which very rarely do you see a reliever get any kind of recognition.
Right.
For, being a reliever. They come in typically 1 to 2 innings a game.
Right.
And he just, if you've been watching ESPN, anything like that, you see all the stats on there. He's been breaking all these kinds of records for most strikeouts and, so many innings. But Andrew Miller was just outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, very worth the trade. Like looking back at that trade, who knows if we're even this far in the playoffs without Andrew Miller?
Terry Francona said in one of his post-game press conferences that we're not here without him.
Right, and it's amazing. Like you said, what a small position some might think, a relief.
Yeah.
A relief pitcher. Like it's not a starting pitcher. It's not your closer. It's not a position player. It's just a relief pitcher. But the impact he's had on this team has been
ridiculous.
So Lindor also had a great series.
Yeah, I think he's becoming the superstar that he really is. Like, I think other people, him being on this national stage, other people are finally getting to see how good Francisco Lindor really is.
Right. Cody Allen came in for some saves.
Cody Allen, yeah, another one of the best closers in the league. He doesn't get a whole lot of recognition because he's played in Cleveland. But, I mean, if you look at his save percentage, it's right up there with the best of them.
Right. And then let's talk a little bit about Bauer's game. So Bauer came in and was going to pitch with the stitches.
Right.
And if you watch the game, that was a disgusting...
There was blood dripping everywhere.
Finger. Yeah.
So. It was funny because we were out. It was my stepmom's birthday that day, so we were kind of all out having drinks and everything. And they had the game on at the place we were at. Everybody in the place was talking about it. Like, I don't care if they were sports fans or not. They were look at his finger. Oh, it's dripping blood. It was so funny just how much attention even non-sports fans were giving to it in the place that I was at.
Right. So he left after what? One
I think he had 2 outs. I think he got 2/3 of an inning pitch.
And then he had to leave.
Yeah.
Which looked very scary for our bullpen.
Oh, I know.
Having your starting pitcher to go out in 2/3. Oh.
Especially when we're down 2 of our top 3 starting pitchers with Salazar and Carrasco being out. For our bullpen to have to come in and pitch for 8 1/3 of an inning, everyone thought
that's brutal.
That was going to be the turning point in the series.
Right.
Like that Toronto was going to take advantage of that. But again, the bullpen came up huge.
Mm-hmm. They really did.
I mean, everybody chipped in. We had Dan Otero. We had Zach McAllister. We had Andrew Miller. Everybody just kind of came out there. Brian Shaw, who I think pitches every single game of his life. Like, he just...
Right.
It was just... I can't believe how much everybody stepped up and how complete of a team victory this entire series was.
Right. And then, speaking of pitchers, Merritt.
Oh, my gosh. He was shaking in his boots.
The kid.
Air quotes.
I mean, I saw the owner say a quote where he came down on the field and was looking to congratulate the team and congratulate Merritt, but he didn't know who he was. He couldn't find him. He didn't know what he looked like. So
yeah, I think he only made one other start as an Indian. I think he had one start under his belt and as a Cleveland Indian, and then to come in and pitch the game to get them to the World Series.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Jose Bautista, a big, huge, famous person, one of the biggest names in Toronto, said before the game, we'll have him shaking in his boots, I believe was the quote. And then after the game, I saw Trevor Bauer tweet out a picture of a open champagne bottle inside a pair of cowboy boots.
Yeah.
There you go, Jose Bautista versus boots.
Yeah, it's weird how much Toronto was really... talk in this series when
complaining.
They were really down the entire, if it was, I don't know. I just don't see how, I get it. Like, if you're frustrated, but it seems like they came at the Indians a lot for no
accused
reason.
them of stealing signs or accused the umps of being in the Indians' favor.
Right.
And then they say that Ryan Merritt's going to be shaking in his boots and won't be able to handle the Blue Jays. Look, 4-1, it's over.
Right.
Go home. We're in the World Series.
Yeah. So... Let's talk about. So we don't know who we're playing yet.
Right.
That's the.
It's looking like it's going to be the Chicago Cubs. I believe they took a 3-2 lead the other night.
Which that's what I'm rooting for. I mean,
the 2 biggest droughts.
I want to see it. It's going to be a great story, really.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
Me too.
And that's what I want to watch.
I don't know if I was talking to you. I think I know I was talking to one of our group friends, Brian. We were talking about the potential matchups. And Brian was telling me he'd rather see us face the Dodgers because the Cubs scare him more.
I think this was we were both in a.
Were you there?
Xbox
I wasn't quite sure if you were on with me or not.
A little bit NBA 2K.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was telling Brian, I was like, man, if we get the Dodgers, that means we're facing Kershaw 3 times in 7 games. And I trust our pitching a lot more than I trust our hitting. Like, our pitching against a good offense, obviously we've shown for 2 straight series that we can handle Boston's lineup, we can handle Toronto's lineup, we can handle the Cubs lineup with our pitching.
But can our bats get it done?
Right, exactly.
A great pitcher.
So that's why the Dodgers scare me just a little bit more than the Cubs do, because Clayton Kershaw. Right. I mean, he's basically Clayton Kershaw is Andrew Miller, who pitches for 8 innings a game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see who we're gonna play. When do they play their next game? Do you know? Is it tonight or is it?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I think they probably have a game or day of rest, but
because all right. So yeah, we'll see who we're playing. What are you looking for in? Salazar. Let's talk about Salazar.
Salazar, yeah.
Possibility coming back.
We were talking about it before we got on here, that Salazar has already pitched 1 simulated game, you said, and then he's scheduled to pitch another one this weekend, and they have not rolled him out for the World Series, so hopefully that would be huge to get Salazar back. Even if he just comes in and gives us 4 or 5 innings, that's 4 or 5 innings that our bullpen can rest a little bit, and it's 4 or 5 less innings that Corey Kluber's got to worry about. It's 4 or 5 less innings. I mean, not that I don't trust Ryan Merritt. He clearly came in and showed that he's capable of stepping up.
Right, but still.
But putting a young guy like that in a situation to pitch in the World Series, I'd much rather have Salazar, who's a little bit more experienced.
Right. Yep, I agree with that. So Bauer should be good by then, I'm thinking.
Yeah, he should be. He said he's doing everything in his power to get back.
Did you see that he wanted to burn the wound closed during the game?
Yeah.
And the medical staff wouldn't let him, and he said he was going to do it without them.
I love Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
If you don't follow Trevor Bauer on Twitter, man, everybody that's listening right now, just go on Twitter, find Bauer Outage. He's hilarious on there. Like, he's not afraid to talk smack with fans, not afraid to talk smack to reporters, not afraid to talk smack to the other team. I mean, he's definitely worth a follow on Twitter. And, I mean, I think he kind of puts that human element in baseball. Like, he seems like he's just an average, like, 20-some-year-old dude out there doing
what he loves.
Great,
yeah. And what he loves, So, pitching's going to be our big thing, obviously, with Kluber, Bauer, Salazar possibly.
And Josh Tomlin. Don't forget Josh Tomlin, because what he's done too. I mean,
it's hard to talk about all of them because they're all doing so well. And you want to get everyone props, but
at work we were talking about this, and it's just being a Cleveland fan, and I know you're going to agree with this as soon as I say it. We're all kind of waiting for the other boot to drop, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, every time, like, we're talking about, like, when Andrew Miller gives up a single, we're like, oh, man, here it goes.
Yeah.
He's done now. And then he goes and strikes out the next 6 guys he faces. We're like, wait a minute, what?
Right.
So I think that's the thing that scares me, is I'm just hoping the other boot doesn't drop.
Right. So, I mean, it should be a great World Series. Energy in Cleveland's going to be electric, especially on the first game of the World Series, which is going to be the same night as the ring ceremony for the Cavs.
It's unbelievable.
I would
night for Cleveland.
Absolutely love to be in Cleveland that night. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to work very early the next morning, so I cannot make it up there.
In a whole nother state.
Yeah, you'll be in Georgia for your job, but it'd be absolutely amazing to be up there. But
it really would. I'm about to look into plane tickets, fly up to Cleveland for a couple hours, and fly back down to Georgia for work the next day.
That might be a little pricey for you. Spend $1,000 on plane tickets just to
it
hang
almost
out.
Be worth it. $1,000 experience right there.
But so speaking of the Cavs ring ceremony, let's go into the Cavs.
All right.
So Cavs season starting up next Tuesday. They got some trade rumors though coming out. Cavs looking for a backup point guard and also to dump Mo Williams because as everyone knows, Mo Williams supposedly retired.
But he has yet to file the paperwork.
He will not file his paperwork because I read the Cavs aren't giving him a buyout. Even though he's saying he's retired, he's not getting the buyout he wants for his contract.
Right.
So he's just going to stay in the books for him. I don't know, which kind of confuses me. But so we're looking to dump him. And unfortunately, if we need to dump him, it looks like
we got to package something with him. No one's just going to take a retired Mo Williams.
Right. So it's looking like we might have to give up Jordan McRae. How do you feel about that?
It's kind of a necessary evil, I guess. I don't want to do it, but it's got to be done. Because in all honesty, it's the best thing for Jordan McRae's future.
Right. To get him on a team where he can shine.
Right. He's not going to have, I'm not saying he won't have a future, but like his future as a Cav is a deep bench role player.
Even though he's shown his potential, he's still going to be a 14th player on the team. Yeah. He's still going to get garbage time minutes. That's what he's going to get.
And I absolutely would love to have him stay on our bench for those garbage time minutes because I do like the guy. But yeah, for him as a person, it's probably the best thing for his career.
Right. And I agree with that. So I saw one of the spots, maybe Philly. I've seen the Magic thrown around.
I seen another one. We haven't got into this yet, but I seen a couple things about Shumpert possibly getting shipped to Minnesota. I don't know how true. I did see a couple speculation tweets that Ricky Rubio may be involved there,
which is understandable from the Timberwolves side because they drafted Chris Dunn,
right,
who is a very good point guard prospect and kind of fits that team more than Rubio would.
Right.
And then Rubio also somewhat fits the Cavs. He brings that defense, but
he's a great distributor.
But he can't shoot.
We don't need him to shoot.
But we do.
We got all those other offensive weapons. We got Dunleavy. We got Channing Frye. Because you got to think he's going to be in there, obviously, with the second team most of the time. So, on the second team, I mean, even JR gets quite a bit of playing time.
For a backup point guard, I'm looking for that Dellavedova role where he plays good defense, he doesn't need a ball handle, and he can shoot the ball. And Ricky can do one of those things. He's a dominant ball player. He's very, I don't want to say useless without the ball, but he needs the ball in his hands. And when you have a Kyrie Irving and you have a LeBron James, if either of those guys are on the floor with Ricky Rubio,
which I don't think they would be. Like, I mean, obviously it'd be hard. Obviously there would be times where they'd overlap because with Kyrie and LeBron playing probably close to 40 minutes a game, and Rubio, I'd imagine, probably get somewhere around 20, if not more. I mean, I guess I don't know how the lineups would work with Ricky Rubio.
So, I don't know. I don't see that working for the Cavs. Another thing, I don't see the Timberwolves taking on Shump's contract. Shump has a very ugly contract for what he's been putting on the court the last year.
Something about 40. Well, but with the cap jumping up,
I mean,
his $40 million contract is actually kind of subpar because think about it, Mozgov's getting $60 million.
Even with that contract, it's still bad for a player of his caliber. Obviously, he's shown the potential.
He's a 3-and-D guy.
But he doesn't 3 or D. I mean, he played terrible defense last year. I mean, he had his moments, but he fouled a lot. He was
injured a lot last season.
But he was definitely under what he has done what he's been known for.
Right.
He's definitely below average on defense from what his average was. And then obviously, I don't trust him to shoot the ball.
Personally, the more I find out about Shump the character, the less I'm liking him.
Yeah.
Like that sounds terrible, but I feel like he's almost more, and I don't blame him when I say this, but I feel like he cares more about his off the field stuff, off the court stuff, than he does his on the court. And granted, he's allowed to have a life. I get that, but you don't see that with the rest of the Cavs. Like the rest, he's not in those pictures. He's not at the Indians games with JR and Channing and Jefferson and LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love. Like he doesn't seem like he's in with the crowd of the Cavaliers.
But I don't know. I don't want to say that because he is really good friends with Kyrie. I mean, I follow Kyrie on Snapchat, and almost every day he's hanging out with Amon.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
I don't have him on Snapchat, so I don't see that part of it.
The trio is Kyrie, Amon, and Jordan McRae.
Okay.
Those are the three that stay together the most. And obviously last year when they were injured, Kyrie and Amon
probably had that bonding.
Yeah, and I noticed they sat a lot together on the bench when they were in suits, and then they obviously have a good off-the-field chemistry now. So, I don't know. With his contract, I'm seeing it hard for anyone to take him. It'd be nice to, I don't know. I wouldn't mind shipping him out.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it would hurt because then also another thing we talked about in past podcasts is where's Dunleavy's minutes going to come from?
Right.
And that would open up quite a bit of playing time for Dunleavy.
Well, Dunleavy, I see him in the same Richard Jefferson role as our RJ was in last year.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get very much in the beginning of the season, and then slowly starts building up more. But you got to think RJ's older too, so he's going to have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll
be interesting to see how it works itself out.
So what are you looking for this year? What's your thing to watch for the Cavs?
What I'm looking for from the Cavs this year is, I mean, granted, stay healthy. Like, that's a given.
Right.
because and another thing that's a given is the lineups to see, to make sure that our main guys make it to the playoffs healthy. But what I'm really looking for is I want to see who does take over that backup point guard role. And I want to see this team, what it can accomplish now that they played together. And obviously the chemistry, which was a big issue at the beginning of last season. Right. I think the chemistry is through the roof with this team.
It's at an all-time high.
Yeah, and I just want to see, because I'm a big believer in team chemistry playing a big part of your success. I want to see how far this team chemistry carries the Cavaliers.
Right. So I think mine is minute distribution. I want to see LeBron's minutes. I want to see Kyrie's minutes. I want to see...
You want to see them go down, or are you just curious to see what they are?
I want to see them go down, but I'm not sure if they can go down. I think we need LeBron to put it 35 minutes a game to carry this team. I mean, obviously he's still the engine that runs this team.
Right.
So I don't know. I'll be interested.
So if he goes from like 35 down to 33 on average, I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but it could be a pretty decent
That's not enough.
hit.
I think he needs to be 30 at this point in his career. Yeah.
Just to save him for the long run.
Right. So yeah, that's my thing. It's a minute distribution. But yeah, I'm excited. Good time in Cleveland sports.
Absolutely.
This Tuesday will definitely be.
It's up there with the championship parade as far as importance in my book. Because how often is it that a city, one, has a chance at 2 championships in the same year, and 2, for them to kind of overlap like this, to be celebrating like an accomplished championship and hosting a potential
second
championship.
Yeah, great. So, yeah, I mean that's about it we got for you this week. Covered the 3 sports: Browns, Indians, Cavs. 2 of those are obviously more happy than the third.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the rebranding. Hopefully everyone likes it. We'd love to hear feedback on the logo and just everything with the rebranding. Obviously you guys heard the new intro. You'll hear the new outro this week also. But yeah, so.
Go ahead and give them our new handles.
So our new handle is going to be DSB_podcast. You'll be able to search that and we'll be able to changing those sometime this weekend, hopefully Sunday. So yeah, if you want to go, if this is your first time listening to it, go follow us on those social media sites. And obviously right now it's still at BA Sports Podcast. Absolutely. So if you're still looking to follow us, that's what it's at now.
Do.
But yeah,
we are trying to get better about tweeting out and being a little bit more interactive than what we were when we first started. And I think that might have scared away some of our Twitter followers because we were kind of stagnant with our Twitter. But I think we are definitely a lot more active now and hope to continue that in the future.
So again, DSB_podcast. Look for that this weekend. Hopefully be changing over everything Sunday-ish. We'll just call it that. So thanks for listening, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys like everything.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. And go Tribe.
Yep.